What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Black Belt Business Podcast. I'm your host, Eliot Marshall, and it is my goal with each episode of this podcast to share the stories, strategies, tactics, tools, and resources that will help you establish or grow your martial arts school. The Black Belt Business Podcast is brought to you by Easton.Online. You can find all of our digital courses, martial arts curriculums, and resources designed to help you enhance your business at Easton.Online. So without further ado, let's jump into the episode. All right, guys, we are back for another episode of the Easton.Online podcast. Me and Mike Tousignant. Hey, Phipps, real fast, since we're joking about it anyway, we just did one, buddy. And you were like, yo, you guys didn't touch on any of these things, so we're going to do another one. What would you like us to talk about in this podcast? Anything? Phipps controls the editing, so he might edit all of this out, but, you know, we might as well joke around.
Well, I feel like when he does that and doesn't say sorry for not saying it, I feel like causing more work for him is a little bit worth
not
it.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about it before.
Yeah.
We don't have to go into it. We talked about it before.
Do you remember talking about it?
No. If you make us the list, if there's topics you want us to talk about, you should put things on the list.
I made the list.
Yeah.
When I made it, I told you what I wanted. But it's okay. Let's go.
He wants us to go.
I know. He doesn't want to own it.
I do have to go to therapy.
What time's therapy?
But like we started. I got plenty of time. It's noon. We have an hour and 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 20-minute drive. No problem. You want us to go? You sure? Anything you want us to talk about before we get really going?
We'll see.
All right, fundamentals classes, everyone. This is one of the biggest things that our clients miss, I will say, when they first start working with us. You're putting your hat over your head, Mike.
Someone that really loves doing new things, especially now with a little more free time.
Yeah.
I am baffled by this.
Yeah.
Okay. It is really...
Hold on, let me say the problem. Most people don't have fundamentals classes. Go ahead.
I've opened 5 schools at this point now, maybe 4, maybe 5, I don't know. And I get it can be hard to start a school when you're like, well, how do I have fun? I want to be inclusive for everybody. So how do you start with the fundamentals class when there's people that are coming to school that are purple and brown belts? Like I can see when you're first starting, be like, oh, how do I do this?
Come at this from the approach not using our program to open on day one with members.
Yeah.
Because we didn't always do that. That's newer for us as well, right? But we're going to approach this as you open with 0 students or 10 students. Okay, not as an Easton, and you open with 70 students to start. So go ahead.
And then in that case, it's hard to imagine why would you throw them into the mix, like just have one class a day, fundamentals. And so okay, let me go back a little bit. I like doing new things, and I like learning about those new things. So whether it's shooting guns, learning how to hunt, running these trail marathons or whatever it is, there's so much content out there these days that is done by really high level professionals. Every single thing I do has a 101 course.
101.
Yeah. The fundamentals, the basics, the beginning.
Basics.
Every single thing. These experts that do this for a living are using college. You don't jump into fucking advanced physics. You know what I mean?
Take physics 1.
Take physics 1. You don't jump into fucking calculus. You do basic arithmetic. Like, why should... And jiu-jitsu is complicated, and so is Muay Thai.
And scary.
And scary. Like, if you back up far enough, there is no reason you shouldn't have it, Or you're going to limit yourself, and you're going to limit the ability of the students. Right? Without having fundamentals, you have nothing,
I look at it this way. You're going to, without a fundamentals program, and then what I would then say is an all levels class to start, right? Fundamentals and all levels. You're going to piss somebody off greatly in the class. Like it's really hard to not. And let's explain it a little bit. Let's say all you do is all levels. Okay. And when you do all levels, it's so hard. And that's it. It's very hard to have a curriculum because mostly what we get with people that we work with is they do an all levels class. People show up they look at the class and they teach to the level of the class. So what that means is, let's assume there's one of two things here. There's one of three things here. Let's start with the two obvious ones. You walk in and you have 10 people under a month and a purple belt. You're going to teach to the 10 people under the month, and the purple belt's going to be a little disappointed because he was expecting something different. And all of this, let me clarify, is going to come down to expectation. And now let's flip it the other way. You have 10 purple belts and 2 first dayers. Now I make it more difficult. 1 first dayer. And now you're going to teach more towards the purple belt, and the first dayer is going to be completely lost. Completely. Because you're going to be describing something. And then probably the most difficult scenario of them all is like a split. Like 5 purple belts, 5 under a monthers. And now you're like, oh shit, what do I teach? And they're all expecting a class geared towards them. When you put a fundamentals class in, if a purple belt shows up to your fundamentals class, they know it's the fucking buck and roll. They know it. They know it. They came, it says it. And the new people aren't allowed to come to the all levels class.
Or well, in our academy they can.
Right, but I'm just saying, in the secondary class, the next level of class. Go ahead.
Intermediate. Well,
intermediate,
okay.
Yeah.
So Eliot is something really important here, but I also don't want to like. I don't want to like screw them. I don't want to mix up what we actually happens at our academies because we still make some of these mistakes. But I think when you have a fundamentals class on the schedule versus only a mixed level, the expectation is super clear for the beginner and the purple belt.
Yes.
So they always have a place to go. And the purple belt's like, man, I don't want to do fundamentals. If I go there, that's my choice.
Yes.
And the fundamentals person's like, I'm really nervous and I'm not feeling comfortable. I'm going to stick in fundamentals for a while. But then the other fundamentals person's like, I feel good. I'm going to go to all levels. And they know that class may be geared more towards fundamentals, but it may be more geared towards intermediate. It's usually one of the two, right? And in that situation, they have an expectation that they could be a bit lost because the fundamentals class exists. If that fundamentals class didn't exist, then it'd be so unfair to them to have to walk into that all levels class with an expectation that they could be lost or confused. This gives them both parties an out. And a clear expectation, which is what I think is really key.
And when it doesn't, that's what I was trying to say, and you said it clearer than me. And when it doesn't happen, people quit.
Oh, it sucks, man.
People quit because it's so.
Yeah.
If you're that fundamentals person, and you just happen to come to 3 classes in a row with all of the purple belts, and you're going over the fucking berimbolo. Even if the teacher says, okay, you over here, it's your turn, you're going to do this really basic
And that's
sweep.
what's going to happen. That's what everybody's
right.
listening is saying that. Well, I set it up differently for them.
They feel shitty because they have to be someone's partner and they don't know how to move to get berimboloed.
Yeah.
You know? They like you can't have someone do the berimbolo to somebody who, when you knock them over a little bit, just lays on their back like a fish out of water. And you should just come to the top. The berimbolo, and I'm using this as an example, the berimbolo happens because an more advanced person is acting in an advanced way. And in the fundamentals class, they don't even know how to give the right resistance. And then they feel shitty. If that happens 3 times, they're gone.
And not only that, so here's another thing that people are going to think about. Like, well, I've seen this before. Well, I'm going to gear the class differently. I'm going to have these fundamental students do this and this person do this. And yes, that works in all levels. Like say you're working on Tousignant passing or something simple, right? But a little bit, I'm going to have the more advanced people go a little bit further into the flow and the beginners just do this. Yes, that can be a good all levels class. But again, you're setting up you're setting up an expectation that's not fair. And if that fundamental student only comes to all levels class, they're going to miss all on the hipping out and how to move out of the position when this happens. They've missed that whole path. So they're just jumping into something that's a little bit over their head, and which they can go do that. But if there's no place for them to learn the basics, the foundation of the house, you are starting them from a disadvantage. If they stick around long enough, they'll get it. But you're starting them way far behind, and it takes way longer to catch up in that situation, in my opinion.
And they end up, in my opinion, they end up getting, you know, the Brazilian term is casca grossa, which is like thick skin. They end up getting, it's a term used for saying that they're tough, right? They end up getting tough, not good, right? Because they don't know how to hip out. They don't know how, like, they can get tough to beat because they, you know, they stuck around long enough.
They probably can't buck and roll.
Yeah, they cannot buck and roll. You know, they can't need an elbow, but they can get out of the mount a little bit. But when they get that really good person, they won't get out of the mount because they don't have these basics. So number one, a fundamentals class. And one of the biggest things that I hear when people say pushback on a fundamentals class is they go, I'll be teaching 1 or 2 people. Well, I have 2 things to say to that. 1, give us a call. We'll get you to 100 pretty quick. And 2, if you're not going to give us a call, this is what you signed up for when you opened a school. In the beginning of a school, sometimes, even us, when we open with 100 or 75, there's classes where there's 3 people. Mm-hmm. It happens. You signed up for this. This is part of it. And that's on you. When my advanced class right now, my no-gi advanced class, it's probably been the most attended class at Easton for a while now. When I started it, there was no advanced program in Denver. None. There was 4 fucking people in that class with 300 students at Denver at the time. It wasn't like there was no students. There was a lot of students. But when I started it, there was 4 people. And I was the owner of the school and all of that. And I had to teach 4 people. That's what I knew what I signed up for when I was like, hey, we need a no-gi program. So when you open a school, you know you're signing up to teach small classes sometimes. You better be ready to show up with the same energy and the same enthusiasm in a fundamentals class with 2 to 3 people ready to teach.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Then in the fundamentals class, like I was talking to a close friend of mine, which Jubera, right? He has a fundamentals program. He's near us. He has a fundamentals program just like us. And all of his advanced students still go to his fundamentals class. Because Matt is the sole owner. He is probably the person that he has one school. Like a lot of you want to be like, right? He doesn't want to do more than that. It's just his school. But I talked about his fundamentals program. He still has a fundamentals program just like we do. But his advanced students come to it because they'll do the whole fundamentals class, but they'll also add in extra flows on their own, getting ready for the advanced class during the fundamentals program. So they get warmed up in that class to go to the advanced program. Yeah. We don't structure it like that, but I bring it up because our way works really well. And the fundamentals program, I think, is a must in anything. A 101 class is just the way it should be, especially if you want to bring in
Are you saying 101?
Yeah, 101. Fundamentals.
It sounds 1-on-1 to me.
101. 101 class.
Okay.
I was just with fundamentals. I took a bunch of courses this morning, and they labeled 101, 102, 103, and just anyway.
You're speaking fast. Go ahead.
Which what else is new? We got to slow my mic down for me, or the. My point is, what we do works, but when you're building it for yourself, you should take liberties that fit into how you want to operate. You know what I mean? Like, so we're giving you a baseline to what we think works, what we know has worked for us. But take that, listen, and then you can add in your own flair. But don't just throw away this idea that fundamentals doesn't work or that I don't want to do it. Give it a shot and see what happens and wait. Like, give it a year, 2 years. We know this works. The best schools do it this way, from Hodger to Braulio, as far as like world champions go, to art of jiu-jitsu, you know, Easton, like this works. We're not just fucking making this shit up. So I don't know. I'm always like,
if you hit us up and you want help and you're unwilling to do a fundamentals program, we can't help you.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty simple. We can't help you. Like do your thing. Like well, I'm not going to say that you couldn't figure something out. You probably could figure something out. But we can't help you because this is how we do it, right? And I am this particular, I would say, when it comes to helping other schools, you have to start a fundamentals program.
You have to try what we're giving you.
Yes.
Try. Don't be contrary and say, well, try.
And I want to talk about a specific in the fundamentals program, which I think is probably the most important piece. There's 2 really, really important pieces in fundamentals program, and one happens at the beginning and the other happens at the end. Let's talk about the beginning first. The beginning, the warm-up. It's the fucking same every class.
I remember exactly. You didn't experience it.
No.
But let me fucking tell you something. I came around when the warm-up was the same. And let me fucking tell you, I would come to that warm-up by day 3. I was so lost. But by day 2 or 3, I was like, I am the best at warming up in this room. And that made me so excited. Like, I was like, I learned this. I can hip out correctly now and I can get through the warm-up. This made jiu-jitsu accessible for me. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm learning something.
Yes. It's not random.
No.
It's not running. It's not cartwheels and this kind of, right? Like, people can't do some of that shit, right? Like front handsprings and like I can't do that shit. I am 250 some pounds. And not that athletic. Like, I know you're going to go say, oh, do you see Gable Stevenson? Dude, Gable Stevenson's a fucking Olympic gold medalist. I'm not, okay? But I got good at jiu-jitsu, right? And I got good at fighting, but I'm not that athlete. I can't do front handsprings. Don't put cartwheels and front handsprings in your warm-up. Basic warm-up. Super basic. Bridges, hipping out, up and bases, grappler sit-ups, stuff like this.
It's applicable to the movements
that they're going to have to do, right? And it's the same. And it does exactly what Mike just said. Mike got it in 3 classes. Good for Mike. Some people, it's going to take a month. But at the end of that month, they're going to have it, and they're going to feel fucking good about themselves, like they can actually do it. Like, they might actually be able to do jiu-jitsu. And then it takes off for them. Okay? And then it takes off. If you make that warm-up too hard or random, they feel lost every single time they fucking walk in your school. But if they know what that first 5 to 10 minutes is going to be, it calms them down. It's like, think about you in a fight. For all of us that have competed, your coach or your teacher or whoever said, just go out, like, because you're petrified beforehand, right? Especially in the beginning. What do they say? They say, go out there and touch them, make the game start happening, and then it will feel normal. It will feel like training, right? That's what fundamentals is for the people. They know how to start. Okay, this is how I'm going to start. Look at an NFL team. What do? They script the first 15 plays of their game. They know what they're going to do the first 15 plays, and then the game becomes chaos.
I think this is really important.
But they have an idea.
This piece is you're setting them up for success. Like, you want to do that because it gets them to stick around. Mm-hmm. Like, if you didn't do that, you may lose some amazing, amazing athletes and people that could run your business and people that could be your best friend and people that you could mentor into God knows where because you set them up for success. This doesn't mean you're not going to put them through the grinder, right, later on, but get them through this part to make it easy, because what we do is extremely challenging. It's an exclusive martial art. We are trying to make something inclusive for all, and then, it'll still weed people out, but we have a much bigger impact on the world when we do it this way. Let's not try to scare people out. That's all ego based if you try to scare people away in the beginning. So, man, this consistency, it made me stick around, and I was
You're a freak.
Petrified.
But you're a freak. You're a freak as far as athletically, strength-wise, fighting. You're not scared. You're none of that, right?
But I was scared of this.
But you're scared of this.
I was scared to fail. I was scared to look like an idiot. And the way it made me start, I remember I tried doing salsa, right? And in a big group setting, and it wasn't set up this way. And I was so embarrassed out there that I walked off and I didn't come back because it was set up with it was all the advanced and beginners, everybody doing the same thing together with no real instruction. And I was so embarrassed I walked off stage. Where Easton let me feel successful. Like, we even do it so the beginners are at the back so nobody's watching them. So the beginners can watch the more advanced people. Everything, when you're doing the orientation, you're giving them the harder part of the warm-up in the orientation. So when they go to the warm-up, they're already prepared. Like, hey, by the way, this is confusing. You just try to get one when they're going fast. Don't worry about it.
Let's talk about the orientation for a second, because that's what comes before the warm-up, before their fundamentals class. The orientation is the fucking warm-up. That's what we teach them. We teach them, after that, we'll teach them, how to tap, maybe.
And one submission, a fun submission.
Like rear naked choke. But, We're not talking about the positions really. Like we're not like, look, if we have time, we'll get there. But it's not an imperative. The imperative is hipping out, get up and base. The rest of it, squats.
So they've seen it once before they're in the group setting.
Yes. And they're like, okay, this isn't completely foreign, right? Completely foreign. It's still foreign. And then you tell them in that orientation class, hey, this is going to take you a month to get. So you pre-frame the expectation of them being bad at this. But then they start getting better way faster. And then they feel good about themselves. And then they keep coming. And now you might have the chance to actually make them a badass, right? Or even if they're not a badass, let's say they kind of stay a pussy. Let's just say that. Let's just say that's what happens.
Oh, jeez.
It's okay, Mike. We'll be all right. Trump's the president. They're less of a pussy than what they were, right? They are less soft. They are tougher. Maybe they're not going to be Randy Couture, who's like, our idea of like this grit, That ain't for everyone. You know who it wasn't for, Mike? It wasn't for me. I didn't even get there either. Did you get to Randy Couture? No. Right? But like, shit, man. I'm better than I was because of jiu-jitsu.
Oh, yeah.
That's the beginning. Right? That's the beginning. Let's talk about the end of a fundamentals class. And I just talked to somebody literally last week who was just dumbfounded by this. No live sparring.
Yeah, there's no sparring in
No
fundamentals.
sparring in fundamentals. None.
And this is when I get annoyed with people. Like, I'm pretty sure this is a fact, but I know Braulio and Hodger will make people wait a year, regardless of their skill level, to train live.
Yeah.
And man, do you think you know more than Braulio and Hodger as far as jiu-jitsu goes? Does anybody out there, like that random guy in fucking Tennessee that got his black belt for some other random person, you know more than Hodger Gracie in jiu-jitsu? Shut the fuck up with your entitlement, you stupid fuck. Okay?
That's worse than me saying pussy.
You know what I mean? And you don't. You fucking don't. So get out of your own way.
And Hodger has world champions.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Hodger's
Anyway.
made another world champion.
This is when I get mad about
Yeah.
it. Entitlement pisses me off.
Look, the no training piece, I trained right away. Do you know how many mistakes I had to fix because it worked? Not because it didn't work. Fuck the didn't work part. I'm talking about like I did something totally wrong and it worked. And then it worked again because the person that I'm training with isn't good. It builds, letting your student train live right away, builds these awful habits. But it reinforces in their mind that it works because they get out of the mount, they get out of side control, they give their back up, and the person sucks so bad that they just fall. The other person sucks so bad too that they just fall off the top and slip off. Or it's like sparring in Muay Thai, like letting somebody hit pads right away in Muay Thai. It's craziness. It's craziness. You're gonna see somebody hit a pad and it's gonna hit them in the face. Like this stuff just doesn't, like you have to take care of them to not build awful habits that you then have to break years down the road when they're ingrained in you, let alone the safety pieces.
Look, I want to clarify my previous statements a little bit. I feel I meant what I said, but what I think to clarify a little bit is there's some things here that have to be spoken. If you have a fundamentals program, it's going to be 0 stripes and 1 stripe white belts. That means people that have been training first day and maybe 3 months. If you decide to have training in that class, you are going to have a bunch of fish flopping around the mat, teaching each other shitty things with no experience. So you wait till they get their second stripe, then they go to a class with people that have been training for a year, so they can help bring each other up. And then after that, they go to a class with people who have been training 10 years, and they can do randoris and stuff. So like, if you allow fundamentals class to train, it just is ridiculous. You have a bunch of clowns training in the class. They're not ready for it. It only takes 3 months. You know, like you can't have one in first day and 1 stripe just beating each other up. That's not jiu-jitsu. That's just street fighting. You know,
That's wrestling around. That's wrestling around with your brother in the basement. That's what that is.
So that's more of what I'm getting at.
And to back to what you were saying a little bit too, Mike, like on the entitlement piece, I think what you're trying to say is everyone goes, well, this is how I was taught. Right. And I trained right away. Yeah. I trained super early, and you wanted to train super early.
There's another thing. This is the other piece of it.
Yeah.
The carrot and the stick. Man, I wanted to train so fucking bad. I came 6 days a week every single day and twice a day on the weekends so I could get that stripe, even though it wasn't supposed to work that way. I was like, I just keep coming, and I didn't say a word for the first 3 months at all. I never spoke. And I wanted that. It was 3 stripes back then. And I think I said this in another podcast, but it made me keep showing up. It made me keep learning. And I fucking took that information through a fire hose, but it made me keep showing up because I want that carrot of the stripe made me show up. I needed that. I was 25. And then eventually I learned it wasn't important. But at the beginning, it fucking matters. Those little rewards go a long way.
So the people that really need to train, the Mikes of the world,
They'll figure
it the fuck out. Yeah, they figure it out. They figure it out. The other people don't really want to train. Like, they're going to get fucked up. Okay? And then everyone goes, oh, yeah, well, you're making pussies. Yeah, in the beginning. But everyone sucks in the beginning. Like, no one's good. Like, no one knows what they're doing. No one's like, oh, yeah. You're like, oh, that guy over there, he's my good student. No, he's not. He's been training 4 months, man. Oh, that guy over there, he's my great student. No, he's not. He's been training 6 months, man. Like, they're not good. It's okay that they don't train right away. Put some training wheels on them. Hold them back. Hold them back so that they're not doing dumb shit. So this is a big one for us. This fundamentals class and doing it well and doing it right. I won't even say right. Just fucking have one. Have this. If there's 2 things you're going to do in the fundamentals class, 3 things. 1 is have one. Okay? Have a fundamentals. 2, warm up that stays the same, not running, no just stupid calisthenics. And 3, no live training. We will allow positional sometimes, or predetermined winners. You know, like, hey, you're on the bottom of side control. The guy, you worked side control escape that day. The guy on the top is going to go and move a little bit, give some resistance, but at the end of the day, the bottom person's going to get out.
And Eliot always did, the person on bottom is doing 20%, the person on top is doing 30%. The person on the top is going to win. Never higher than 20 or 30%.
Never higher than 20.
Because people are like 80%, oh my God. No, you know?
Yeah.
And I would love that. I remember being like sweating like crazy and working super hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I always do put a percentage on it. Like,
it matters. It gives you an idea, like a baseline. And not much resistance doesn't mean much to people.
And look, I even do it in my advanced classes. Like when I want certain things to happen. Hey, I need the top guy going 50, and the bottom. If let's say we're working past the guard, and the bottom guy going 30. It's actually pretty good. It actually is a way to drill really well.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
with intensity.
With intensity. So that's it, guys. Oh, by the way, we do have a fundamentals curriculum in our program. So if you need some help with some fundamentals, no matter where you are, under 100 members or over 100 members, our fundamentals curriculum is in all of our programs, and it is also on BJJ Fanatics. Correct, Phipps? Yes. Yeah, it is. We have it on BJ Fanatics. So if you just want to check out our fundamentals program, you can, if you want to buy it separately, it's on Fanatics. If you want some help with it, hit us up at FireMarshal205, at Easton.Online, Easton.Online, don't put the .com, and at Mikey Mike Phipps. Mike, thanks for doing this.
Thanks, man.
We're out.